Which of those four is it when you talked to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one of them. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I said it to my boyfriend because he got Tupac killed.
In case you missed it, the news wrote Diddy faces questions about his alleged role in Tupac's murder. After being mentioned 77 times in a new legal filing during the Diddy trial, the news of his involvement in Tupac's murder was revealed as in this filing. It states, former LAPD cop claims Diddy had Tupac dealt with for 1 million SUGA retaliated having Biggie dealt with. As when the police arrested Keffi D, he did an interrogation. What was said was shared in court for the first time.
On all four of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those four is it when you talk to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one of them. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
This would then be followed up with times people confronted Diddy about being responsible for Tupac, such as this awkward breakfast clip interview.
Now it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you, listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
This would hit news headlines fast. Even 50 Cent reacted as it states 50 Cent says he doesn't like Diddy because he had Tupac hit.
I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. I always say the wrong thing. Last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? Clip?
Yeah!
I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist to try to help me with what I'm saying. I said crazy shit. No reason. Oh wait, maybe I said it to my boyfriend because he got Tupac killed.
But what's even scarier is investigators believe Diddy didn't act alone, but new reports revealed rappers in the industry, from Snoop Dogg, Suge Knight, and Diddy are about to be arrested and questioned as fans believe that Snoop is responsible for all Tupac's death after new evidence leaked. It begins with this interview which made the feds question Snoop.
You were with Tupac though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So
saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
As he says, he was supposed to be in the BMW on the same night that Tupac got hit, but after last-minute changes, he didn't go, which was likely due to Snoop, Tupac, and Suge having an altercation a couple of days before.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to, prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
With this all happening within 72 hours of Tupac's murder, the police are suspicious because you have to take into account that Snoop Dogg was heavily tapped into the streets 2 decades ago, which is why fans believe that Snoop received a tip about Tupac being targeted that night and is why he avoided getting in the car. Another interview with Snoop has him detailing how something in their friendship also changed just a couple days before Tupac passed.
I say a week before we was best of friends. 2 days before I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I want to do some music with him. And I just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like trying to me, how that you? And you talking about you want to do a song with him? I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked the music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out.
However, the physical evidence in the Diddy trial gave the courtroom chills as Keffy D explained how Tupac was taken out by Diddy back on September 7th, 1996. Tupac was in Vegas with the head of his record label. They went to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, and once it was over, they spotted their ops.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson, the MGM Grand. Keffy D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and two of their friends were also there. Keffy D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago in a proffer that couldn't be used against him. The shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Security was called to break up the altercation between Tupac Suge and the ops later in the night. Tupac and Suge went to their hotel to change and headed out to Suge's club for the night. However, on the way to the club at around 11 p.m., the incident went down in the street.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keffy D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
With the incident being a mystery for 2 decades, the police investigated an interview by KD on DJ Vlad's show as Keffy D completely explains what happened on that night.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, "Tupac, Tupac."
Got to the light. We was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
With Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, but what's weird is that Keffy D said that Tupac was hit because he was allegedly reaching for his own firearm.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once you got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
started
at Tupac and Suge.
Tupac likely knew something was off and tried getting ready for it, but wasn't quick enough, as this led to Keffy D's interrogation with the police back in 1996 getting leaked.
You say Suge looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
When he looks over at you, and then, Tupac's busy getting evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the
back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window.
However, it seems like the Tupac incident still haunts Keffy D to this day as he spoke on his emotions in the aftermath of it.
I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Cause it still a lot of people's lives, dude. I hate that happened. Promise God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. Wish it never happened, dude.
But this is where the murder files get weird, as holes in the story make it sound like Tupac is alive. An officer who investigated the situation closely reveals that Tupac was an industry plant with the job of stopping the escalating beef between the Red and Blue Street teams.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda they came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Tupac Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
But the plan wasn't working, and it led to Tupac's passing. But it gives reason to why Snoop was avoiding Tupac that night. But a thread broke down every single piece of evidence that relates to Tupac still being alive. I couldn't even believe it. When watching this 2010 interview from a rapper named Trey and Tupac used to be close friends back in the day and worked on a couple albums together, but after Trey's interview, the cameraman forgot to stop recording and put his camera on the floor. In the footage, you can hear the interviewer asking Trey about Tupac, to which Trey responds, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question.
Nobody knows. Y'all good?
Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man.
Last time I saw him, he was in church.
And only 3 weeks after the interview footage of Tupac supposedly chilling in a parking lot in Cuba was released.
Look, zoom in. That's Pac, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back. He's trying to be friendly and get autographed. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
This went on to create the Tupac is alive in Cuba theory. Ever since. However, in 2025, it doesn't seem like just a theory anymore, because Suge Knight agrees that Tupac is alive and well. He said it over the course of many interviews across 2 decades. As an interview with Suge Knight makes a convincing case that Tupac is still here, as he states, "I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking, so I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad."
When I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna say this, Pac, you never know.
But what's weird about this is that Tupac was supposedly in a coma in the hospital. So how could he and Suge be laughing if Tupac was unconscious? It doesn't seem to add up. But in a 2008 interview, Suge kept this same story that Tupac was alive and well.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
Only 2 weeks after this interview, he almost lost his life in a nightclub when a man used a firearm in his direction multiple times. However, Knight was hesitant to tell the police anything, as he knew it was likely from him talking about Tupac, although Knight's son, Suge Knight Jr., would make the same mistake. In 2018, Suge Jr. took to Instagram to state that Tupac was still alive and living in Malaysia. After he posted this, he posted another screenshot of text which say, "You said too much time for you to go." With Shu Jr. in a panic, he began releasing photos of Tupac with modern-day celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce. He made it seem like someone was after Suge Jr. for leaking all this info as on the pic of Tupac, and Beyonce, he captioned it, "He never left us, they'll be after me soon." Some people believe it was all a publicity stunt for Suge Jr. to get clout, but others believe it was all factual, and he'd be the one to know more than anyone else in the world, considering his father was right there during the incident.